Feeling pretty good today. It's been a good day.
I should explain to our listeners that we are streaming this live in vision, so I can actually see Emily as well. Okay, what are you wanting to hear from Joe Biden when he speaks later?
I'm excited for him to take the stage for his first time as the president-elect. So many people in America, we just want to move on. Like, we just want to turn the page and be able to get back to a place where we can have forward-looking policies on democracy reforms, on climate, on healthcare. We just want to be able to get to a place where we can have real conversations and know that our policies are moving in a direction that are helpful to the people, and it's not doesn't get into mudslinging, politicking, you win, I win, that we've been mired in the Trump era. So, we just want to be able to see that from Biden. That is who he is. It's who he's always been. It's who he showed himself to be on the campaign and his 40 years in government. So I'm very excited to see him today, and I'm excited to see him in that new light as the president-elect.
We hear a lot about him reaching across the aisle, which, to be fair, in his political career, he's got a track record of doing that. But that aisle seems to be a lot wider now, and I'm wondering whether his arm is long enough to reach over it, because the Republican Party that we have today is not the Republican Party of Bob Dole, of George Bush the First, dare I say, of Richard Nixon. Maybe I undermine my case there, I don't know. But it's a very different entity now, isn't it? That the Tea Party and Donald Trump supporters are now enmeshed in the Senate in particular in a way that maybe might prevent a lot of reaching across the aisle.
It's a great point that we are dealing with a much more polarized time and a much more polarized Republican Party. And Donald Trump didn't just create that. That did really come, to your point, in 2010 with the rise of the Tea Party, who really overtook traditional establishment Republicans who were used to working together to get things done, like a national budget, like maybe something like infrastructure, or like those are things that Republicans actually used to work with Democrats on. But then once they got to the midterm elections under the Obama administration, they just said, stop everything. We're not going to work together. If anyone can do it, Joe Biden can do it. He has the personal relationships in the Senate. He has the personal relationships within the House. He has worked with them for years, and they know him and they understand him. His job within the Obama White House was to work with Congress because he had those deep personal relationships, and people who are elected will take him seriously. The Republican Party has gone even more extreme under Donald Trump because one of the things that Trump valued more highly above everything was loyalty to a very extreme degree. Couldn't question him at all, had to follow him blindly. And a lot of Republicans felt like if they were going to get reelected, they had to be part of that. And if they wanted any of their issues to move, they needed Trump on board with them. And so they had to show just unflinching loyalty to him. Under a new president, look, the Republican Party should be in disarray right now. Like, they followed him off of a cliff, and this is what they're left with. And so they need to decide, do they want their issues to move under President Biden, or do they just want to keep putting up a block and have nothing move for the American people?
Well, it is interesting that the Republican leaders have been fairly silent over the past 2 or 3 days, haven't they? Whether they are intending to throw Donald Trump under that bus, I suppose, remains to be seen. Emily, thank you very much indeed. That's Emily Tisch Sussman. Her podcast is Your Presidential Playlist, a guide to the 2020 presidential election. Somebody said